But our top story tonight, that big story in an unprecedented move, 7 opposition parties in the country led by the Congress have moved an impeachment motion against the Chief Justice of India, accusing him of alleged improprieties. While the Congress insists there is no politics behind the move, the BJP is calling it a revenge notice after the setback the party got in the Judge Loya death case yesterday. Remember, this is unprecedented because no Chief Justice in this country has been under an impeachment notice in the past. It's our top story tonight.
We have moved a motion for impeachment for the removal of Chief Justice of India.
The opposition, after sitting on the fence for many weeks, pulled the trigger on Friday. It has moved a notice for impeachment of the Chief Justice of India, Dipak Mishra, the first ever against a CJI. That the impeachment motion is being moved just a day after a bench led by CJI Mishra dismissed petition demanding probe into Judge B.H. Loya's death is hard to ignore. The Congress, however, insists that it is purely about judicial ethics and has nothing to do with politics, and pointed at the disquiet within the top court, where 4 senior-most judges have questioned the CJI's way of functioning.
There have been situations when questions have been raised about the manner in which he has dealt with certain cases. This manifested itself when 4 senior-most judges held a press conference on January 12, 2018, where they publicly expressed their disquiet about the manner in which the Chief Justice was exercising his powers.
The opposition has listed 5 grounds for impeachment. 1. The CJI is allotting sensitive cases to preferred benches. 2. CJI's alleged likely involvement in the medical college recognition scam. 3. The CJI heard a plea for probe in the medical college scam in which he himself could have been under investigation. This, the opposition says, is a violation of the Code of Conduct. 4. The CJI changed the date of an administrative order, which allegedly amounts to forgery. And last, he got land using false affidavit when he was a lawyer. But even before Vice President Venkaiah Naidu decides on the notice, there are cracks in opposition ranks. Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress, Lalu Yadav's Rashtriya Janata Dal and the DMK are not signatories to the notice. There is difference of opinion within the Congress as well. Former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, on whose advice the move was dropped earlier, is not a signatory, while another leader, Salman Khurshid, seemed cagey.
ये गंभीरता के साथ, सोच समझ के साथ कोई भी अगर निर्णय लेता है तो बड़ी गंभीरता के साथ, क्योंकि एक संविधान की बात हो रही है और एक इंस्टीट्यूशन की बात हो रही है, हमने जान के डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह को इन्वॉल्व नहीं किया.
For me to reflect specifically on whether the grounds are justified or not justified would be unfair.
The BJP has lashed out at the opposition. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley posted a message on Facebook saying it is a revenge petition after the falsehood of the Congress party has been established in the Justice Loya death case.
Government is working in every possible way, but opposition is constantly trying to degrade and denigrate the institutions. When in 2G case, the matter fell and they were acquitted, did we think of bringing impeachment motion against them?
The opposition may deny any politics behind the impeachment notice, but the fact remains that this comes just a day after Supreme Court's dismissal of any probe into Justice Loya's death. And with a CJI-led bench hearing the Ayodhya Ram Janmabhoomi land dispute, it is almost certain that any debate over judicial ethics and reforms is sure to be hijacked politically. With video journalist Anil Jaiswal, this is Mosmi Singh in Delhi for India Today.
Okay, let's go to my first 2 newsmakers at the moment. Joining me now is former Law Minister of the Congress Party, Senior Advocate Salman Khurshid, also Soli Sorabji, former Attorney General with us. Appreciate both of you joining us. here on the news today. Mr. Khurshid, it seems you are distancing yourself from what your party has done. Are you troubled personally by the manner in which your party has gone ahead with this impeachment motion?
Well, I can't say that I'm not troubled. I'm in fact not just troubled, I'm pained, I feel a sense of agony. I don't know why this had become necessary, what went into it, what was the material and what was the basis. I was not in the loop at any point, and I maybe blame myself that I should have taken more interest to find out. But I was not in the loop, so I'm unable to reflect on the purpose and the intent behind this.
From what you're saying then, Mr. Khurshid, it appears that your party itself is divided, that this decision was apparently taken by Rahul Gandhi and his few close associates, that you, as you are saying, you were not even consulted. The former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh is also not signed on, neither has Mr. Chidambaram. Are there quarters in the Congress who are against the impeachment motion? Many members, as I said, have not signed it.
The signing is only done by members of the Raj Sabha. So if people who are outside the Raj Sabha, Lok Sabha, or are not in Parliament, then there's no question of their signatures. So I don't see what can be read into people signing or not signing. But of course, there is possibly a view that doesn't necessarily find acceptance everywhere. I have no idea though, because I have not talked to anyone. Nobody has approached me and expressed any reservations. So I'm unable to comment on this.
But you know, the fact is, Mr. Khurshid, you're playing safe, but former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh also hasn't signed this notice. So, you know, if this was such a big deal and your former Prime Minister doesn't sign it, it obviously sends out the wrong message, as if the Congress is not convinced. At least the senior leaders of the Congress are not convinced about the advisability of moving an impeachment motion against the Chief Justice.
I have no idea. I think it's sensible. Someone who's held high constitutional office is kept above such a controversy. It is a controversy because people have very strong views of different nature, you know, on two sides, if you like. And there are many opinions. So if he's kept above that, I think that's a good thing. He's a sagacious person. He's somebody that we greatly admire, that we feel proud of. And to keep such a person aloof from and secured from the hurly-burly that's caused when political interaction happens is perhaps a very sensible thing.
I'll come back to you, Mr. Khurshid, in a moment. But Soli Sorabji, your first reactions as one of the country's senior most jurists when you heard that the Congress party was moving an impeachment motion against the Chief Justice?
First reaction was I was very disturbed. After all, impeachment motion against the Chief Justice can only be approved misbehavior. And I can't understand how in our country, when I go abroad, I speak of our free press and our independent judiciary. And what do I say now when people say, Mr. Sorabji, forget your independent judiciary, there's an impeachment motion against the Chief Justice. Now you see, this impeachment motion should not be taken against the Chief Justice or any judge because of any order which a particular party doesn't like. Any order which a particular party thinks is wrong, or is rather even eccentric. He should be for approved misbehavior in the discharge of his duties. It's a very serious thing. It's really the safeguard for the Chief Justice. Of course, the Chief Justice is not above the law.
Yes. But you know, but Mr. Sorabji, there are those who are saying that the Congress is claiming they have given a 5-point charge sheet against the Chief Justice. They are making accusations that in a particular case of a medical college recognition, the Chief Justice's role is under the scanner. His fellow judges have accused him of bench fixing. Somewhere they claim to have a lack of faith in the Chief Justice's integrity.
No, but let me tell you, Rajdeep, as far as the 4 judges are concerned, that was only criticizing him about the allocation of cases to certain benches. That's not misbehavior. You may have a different view about it. Here the whole thing is, Rajdeep, when you do this, it must be on the basis of solid, concrete, cogent material. Impeachment of Chief Justice for what? And mind you, as far as I know, look at Manmohan Singh, our former Prime Minister. He hasn't signed it. He knows the implications of such a thing on our democracy. Salman Khurshid hasn't. Why? Because they know that you can't really impeach a Chief Justice. Look here they haven't got the numbers. So what's the idea? Idea is to embarrass him, to humiliate him. But they never get it through.
No, it is true that the motion will fall probably because the opposition, particularly the Congress, doesn't have the numbers in Parliament. But do you believe the Chief Justice has questions that he must answer, be it on allegations of bench fixing, be it on allegations in the medical admissions? Do you believe Justice Mishra also needs to answer questions?
But Rajdeep, you don't give the answers on the basis of an impeachment motion. There are other forums. The bar organizes certain events where they criticize the Chief Justice and ask for answers, but not the impeachment, not the removal. But see what it will lead to. It will really be a threat to the judges that if you don't pass orders which we think are correct, which are to our liking, be prepared for the humiliating experience of an impeachment motion. Here they don't have the numbers. So what's the idea? They'll only embarrass the Chief Justice. They'll only humiliate him. And is that the idea? Is that the legal fraternity should send as one body to completely against us?
You know, let me ask.
Not that the Chief Justice cannot make a mistake or is above the law.
No, let me ask both of you. You, Soli Sorabji first and then Salman Khurshid. Should the Congress take back this impeachment motion? Have they made a mistake? Mr. Sorabji?
Well, they won't take it back. Whether it takes it back or no, it's for them to decide. Well, they should listen to Manmohan and Salman Khurshid, for instance. They are the advisors. They should know what they're doing. You don't get political gains by impeachment motions against the Chief Justice. That does harm to the public perception of the neutrality of the judiciary. That's the greatest damage done. After all, the public has confidence in the fair administration of justice by the judiciary. If that is confidence is affected, if that is undermined, it's a bad day for democracy.
Salman Khurshid, your view? Should the Congress be taking back this impeachment motion? Have they acted in haste?
See, this is a little bit like asking a lawyer, if you got a brief like this, how would you argue it? You have to read the brief. I mean, I need to see the material and I need to understand what is the thought that went into taking a decision like this. And if everybody was transparent and honest and shared amongst themselves as to what the purpose was and the manner in which this decision was taken, I would be in some position to be able to reflect and give my point of view. And I would then honestly and sincerely do so. But right now I'm extremely handicapped that I have frankly no idea at all, and I think this is too serious a matter for me to simply rely on my instincts and say yes or no, given that the consequences could be very serious.
Let's leave it there, gentlemen. Thank you both very much for joining us. Two fine legal minds joining me. I want to raise the bigger question now and take this forward with more legal minds. Has the Congress acted in haste by moving this impeachment motion against the Chief Justice of India? Is there any proof of misconduct by the Chief Justice of India? Is the impeachment motion notice more about politics than judicial ethics? Why was the impeachment notion given when the opposition doesn't have the numbers? Is the opposition playing revenge politics, as Arun Jaitley is calling it? Joining me now is Raju Ramachandran, former Additional Solicitor General. Also with me in the studio, another former Additional Solicitor General, Biswajit Bhattacharya. I'm also joined by Narendra Thaneja, spokesperson of the BJP. Amiben Yagnik is spokesperson of the Congress. And maybe Amiben, you should take this. Salman Khurshid was playing safe, but I want to ask you this directly. Arun Jaitley says this is revenge politics. You got an adverse verdict in the Judge Loya case yesterday. The next day you decide to go ahead with the impeachment motion even without taking allies into confidence despite the reservations of a Dr. Manmohan Singh. Is this revenge politics?
I think this word revenge is very much in the vocabulary of the BJP leaders. I think we should not be, a finance minister of this stature should not be using this kind of language. The petition was ready a week back, the appointment was sought, and only it was today morning that the appointment was given by the Honorable Speaker of the Rajya Sabha because he was touring
So it has
the
nothing
Northeast.
to do with the Judge Loya case?
Just because some judgment comes yesterday.
It has nothing to do with the Judge Loya case, Amiben Yagnik? Because during the Rajya Sabha Parliament session also you could have moved this motion. You could have submitted a notice when there was a Parliament session last month. Why did you choose the day after? Look at the timing. People will question it because of the timing. Day after Loya case, you go ahead with an impeachment motion. Don't take the Trinamool into confidence. Don't take the RJD into confidence. And a section of the Congress like Salman Khurshid is also left out. Questions are being raised as to how this decision was taken. Did you think first? Did you act first and then think?
Can I complete?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I complete?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it was a week back that the motion was ready, but the appointment of the Honorable Speaker was not given. I think you can check the office of the Honorable Speaker of the Rajya Sabha, Honorable Mr. Naidu, and you will find the answers to this. This motion has nothing to do with Judge Loya's case, but it appears very much by the questions that you put and by the answers or the statements given out by the leaders of the BJP that the death of Judge Loya haunts them all the time. The justice is given yesterday, the judgment is given yesterday, the matter is over. We have accepted the verdict of the Honorable Apex Court. The motion that was moved, signed a week back was ready, but because of the non-appointment given to us, it is moved today. You can't club the two.
Right.
There have been instances right from January 12 onwards. I think you should take into consideration all those points and just not bring Judge Loya. It's over. I think the BJP is being haunted. Is being haunted by Judge Loya's death, and that is why this kind of language is being used by Arun Jaitley. I think Mr. Jaitley does not understand what he speaks, because in 2011, 2016, everyone had pounced on him for speaking giving derogatory remarks about the judiciary. So let's not go on to that aspect. We will stick to the topic.
Okay, the topic is very clear. As I've raised by Biswajit Bhattacharya, an impeachment motion under the law, and I'll come to Raju Ramachandran also to get a legal, is for proven misconduct, or if the Chief Justice is seen to act in a manner which brings down the reputation of his office. Now, in this case, is there proven judicial misconduct? Is there enough evidence of proven judicial misconduct for the Chief Justice to be impeached?
Rajdeep, Article 124 subclause 4 uses the word proved misbehavior.
Misbehavior.
Or incapacity.
Yes.
So I think what these 5 charges which the opposition parties have levelled is proved misbehavior. Now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, the first, if you see the 5, number 1 is
the Prasad Education Trust medical admissions case, the manner in which the Chief Justice handled it.
Correct. And allocation.
But is that enough? Is that enough for impeachment? Allocation, bench fixing have been often raised against previous Chief Justices as well. Is that enough to say that he should be impeached?
Absolutely not. And Justice Chalameshwar himself has stated that impeachment is not the solution. Larger issue involved here is, which perhaps we are overlooking, it is a fight between legislature and executive on one hand, not fight, tug of war, and judiciary. It's not Chief Justice versus other judges, Rajdeep. And this impeachment motion is sure to fail because proved misbehavior, incapacity, Honorable Vice President will have to admit it. In case he does not admit, the matter is closed. If he admits, then a inquiry by 3-member commission, and then Parliament, majority of the members of both houses, 2/3 present and voting. Meanwhile, Chief Justice Honorable Dipak Mishra will retire on 1st of October. So this is a non-starter.
If it is a non-starter, I'll come back to that. Why is the Congress doing it? Its motives. But Raju Ramachandran, as someone who's followed and tracked and appeared in previous impeachment motions, do you see this falling within the four walls of the law as it stands, or is the Congress engaging in what some are calling a fishing expedition? Put the Chief Justice on notice, intimidate him, and somehow or the other create a smokescreen around the Chief Justice.
Rajdeep, without getting into the merits of this present controversy, let me, with my experience of the first impeachment, the Ramaswamy impeachment, just clarify the correct legal and constitutional position for your viewers. First, it is the Constitution which makes impeachment a political process, because Parliament is the only forum through which a judge can be removed. And even the judiciary sometimes is compelled to invoke this political process when a Chief Justice tells an errant judge, you please resign, otherwise I'll have no option but to recommend your impeachment. Therefore, a Chief Justice also, when he is helpless, has to invoke the political process. So apart from politicization in the sense of tu meme between different parties, it's a political process. Now the second thing is proved misbehavior. What does that mean? Now there's a misconception here. The removal is to be on the ground of proved misbehavior. An impeachment motion is not to be admitted on the ground of proved misbehavior, because the proving is to be done in the impeachment process when the judge's inquiry committee goes into it. Therefore, proved is not to be taken as an assumption before someone moves an impeachment motion. Having said that, let me also explain the roadblocks and the process. First, the Speaker has a discretion to admit or not to admit. And the Judges' Inquiry Act says he can consult such persons as he considers fit. He may look at whatever materials are available before him before he takes a decision. If he admits the motion, then a judicial committee is appointed, headed by a Supreme Court judge. It includes a High Court Chief Justice and a distinguished jurist, and a proper judicial procedure is followed in the inquiry. If the chairman of the Rajya Sabha decides either to sit on the motion because no time is prescribed for him, he decides to reject it, then there is a moot question. Is this order subject to judicial review?
Yes.
According to the test laid down by the Supreme Court, it would be. That would lead to another conundrum. If someone challenges the failure, the refusal of the chairman to admit this motion, yes?
No, I just want for a moment want to...
Hello?
No, I just want to
Can you
stop
hear
you
me?
because... Yes, I just want to stop you for a moment because I think you've given us a fair idea of how the various complications and roadblocks that lie ahead. I think it's very useful for our viewers, but the politics, and that is what I want to return to, because Narendra Taneja, the fact is proven misconduct. Now, you could argue at this stage that based on the charge sheet that the Congress has provided, there is no proven misconduct yet. But should there be an inquiry is the question. Should there be any inquiry based on the charges that 4 fellow judges made in January? Should there be an inquiry based on the medical admissions scam and the alleged involvement of the Supreme Court Chief Justice? Is the BJP ready to at least allow that, should there be at least an inquiry, or are you directly linking it to Loya's case, which Amiben Yagnik is saying is not fair?
No. First of all, you see, it's an extremely distressing event because it's all politics, Rajdeep. No point going into other things. 100% politics by the Congress party. What Congress has a bigger plan trying to do, because they have failed to offer any alternative to the work that BJP has done over the past 4 years. They have no alternative narrative. What they're trying now to do is to basically create an atmosphere of distress, chaos, disorder, anarchy as part of their 2019 plan and say, look, only Congress can govern this country. That's the part of the bigger agenda. How do you do that? Basically because they have failed to fight BJP politically. Completely. They have failed 100%. And now what they're trying to do is that, attacking institutions. And first they said, first they attacked Election Commission. From Election Commission they moved to RBI. From RBI they moved to CBI. And from CBI they moved to Parliament then, and finally now even the Supreme Court of India. Whatever institutions are left, they're going to attack one by one all the institutions. Just wait and see. So their effort is very clear. Their game plan is very clear. Since they have no alternative to offer, and they don't really want to commit to anything because they have nothing to say. They know the government or BJP, NDA has done fantastic work. That's why people are voting BJP to power state after state. They know it. So they don't want to offer any alternative. This is the part of the game plan. This is just to basically create anarchy and chaos in this country, and they will, Rajdeep, just a second, Rajdeep, just a second. They will not succeed because this kind of politics people can see through when you attack institution. And by the way, some of these institutions very painstakingly created by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, one of the tallest leaders of the Congress party. They have no respect for him. They have no respect for Dr. Ambedkar. They have no respect for
Interesting that a BJP person is at least claiming that Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru helped build the institutions.
Okay, that's
you
the
believe
agenda.
Amiben Yagnik respond.
They need to destroy institutions. They will destroy.
Okay, this will therefore be seen by some as a self-goal, and there are others, Amiben Yagnik, who are linking this to the impending Ayodhya judgment. Many believe August, September, before Justice Mishra retires, he will have to submit the Ayodhya judgment, or he will preside over that Ayodhya judgment, and this is the Congress's attempt to put pressure on the Chief Justice in the Ayodhya judgment. Your response? According to the BJP, you are destroying institutions for your political ends.
I think they have the right answers of what they are speaking, that they are destroying institutions. Let's not get into that. It's a very larger debate, and the country is watching. What about the RBI? What about demonetization? Where have you destroyed the regulatory framework? We may not go into that because today is not the day to debate all that, but they have this general formula. Now they bring 2019 and then they'll bring Ayodhya. Nobody is talking about Ayodhya Ram Mandir.
Are you questioning the integrity and character of Justice Mishra because he is supervising the Ayodhya judgment? And you believe that he is unfit to do that? That this is basically about the Ayodhya judgment somewhere? That's the big political bomb waiting to explode. And before that, you are putting him on notice. You are intimidating him according to Soli Sorabji.
The five points that have been mentioned in the in the motion, do they mention anything of this kind? And did the four judges, the senior most judges, speak anything? They just said that there is something wrong with the administration of the apex court. Finally, what happens, whatever judgments are given, they have far-reaching consequences for the people at large, the nation, the whole nation and the whole country. I think you are forgetting the larger point and the judiciary's reach, to the people of this country. The BJP is only in an election mode, so they may come out with these kind of things. But Ayodhya is never there. It's in the mind of the BJP. And is the BJP aware, or is it very sure that there is going to be a judgment, or they already know the judgment? And even the media is being appraised that there is a judgment. I think we have not talked about this issue. So I think Rajdeep, we may stick to why this motion was moved, what are the points that are mentioned in the motion, and are these points not answered by the
quickly, Narendra Taneja respond, because I want to get my legal friends to conclude. Narendra Taneja, quickly respond, but quick response, because what is being suggested is that the BJP is also playing politics with the judiciary. You are sitting on transfer of judges, you are sitting on promotion of judges. You have both these parties. Indira Gandhi in the 1970s, Narendra Modi in the 21st century have compromised judicial independence.
Identical.
You want pliant judges. You want pliant judges. If the Congress wants to intimidate judges, you want pliant judges.
Rajdeep, now allow me, now give me some time. Give me some time to
30
reply.
seconds.
Reply, give me some. Comparing Indira Gandhi of 1975.
Yes.
Comparing Indira Gandhi 1975 to Narendra Modi of 2018 is absolute nonsense, Rajdeep. Nonsense. What he did, what everybody knows it. Scrapped everything practically. Put all these journalists, in prison. Many of your colleagues. That's what they did. Please don't compare. There is no comparison. What their Congress is trying to do is very simple. Nothing else. Only is part of the 2019 game plan. Nothing else. Trust me. Discredit everyone. Discredit individuals. Discredit individuals. Discredit institution. That's how they think that they can create a chaos in the country. They can basically, create this kind of atmosphere in the country so that people basically say that, all right, this party can't govern. Only Congress can govern. And they are not even interested in the Congress party. Their agenda is simple.
You want
One
Justice
man.
Mishra to lead the judgment on Ayodhya is what they seem to understand. That's the hidden agenda.
Fight with us politically.
Okay. Fight with the BJP
nothing.
politically.
We are not. We are saying fight with us politically if you have guts.
Okay.
If you have guts, fight with us politically.
Okay.
Fight with us politically if you have guts.
Okay, let me leave it there. I want my two lawyers to conclude the debate.
Party.
Okay, Mr. Dhaneja, you made your point. Vishwajit Bhattacharya, from a legal perspective, is this a sad day that you've got a situation now where it's judiciary versus the opposition party and the judiciary is also split wide open?
Absolutely, Rajdeep, it is a sad day, and the basic aim is to attack the judiciary and the institution of Chief Justice. In this game, whether Congress and BJP are, they are hand in gloves. I am not entirely free from doubt because the Chief Justice India is going to retire in less than 6 months. And in NJAC case, Congress and BJP join hands. So when it suits them to attack the judiciary, I see no difference between Congress and BJP. Indira Gandhi, when she was the Prime Minister, she superseded Justices Shellet, Grover and Hegde, superseded Justice Khanna. And today we are having a similar apprehension. The whole idea is, I do not.
Do you apprehend that the next Chief Justice could be superseded?
It is being talked about.
It is being suggested that Justice Gogoi could be superseded.
It is being talked about openly in the corridors of the bar, but it is not going to happen.
Is it being also talked about in the corridors of the bar that Justice Mishra is he the right person to lead the judiciary at this moment?
No, you see...
Is he the right person at the risk of contempt of court?
No.
Because somewhere, once this press release has come out, is the Congress party at one level also reflecting what is being rumored in the corridors of power? In the medical admissions case?
In this press report, the entire country has seen these 5 charges. Rajdeep, it is unfortunate because... Why it is unfortunate? Because impeachment motion is bound to fail.
Okay.
I say this should not have happened. This should not have happened. This should have been avoided at all costs. Larger issue is government is trying to control and totally make the judiciary ineffective. Appointments are not being filled. That's a larger issue here.
Okay, but we will get a final word of 20 seconds from you, Raju Ramachandran. Is this a sad day then? Is this a troubling day? Is it, as Soli Sorabji said, a dangerous precedent that the Congress has set? Quick response.
It is definitely a troubling day that the Chief Justice of India, the head of the institution, is the subject of proposed impeachment proceedings. But as I said at the outset, if the Constitution makes this a political process, then it is inevitable that it happened this way.
Right.
Because if the political class wishes to make a statement, the Constitution gives them that right to do it.
Okay, let's leave it there, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us, giving us a sense of what is, as most of you are accepting, a troubling day for Indian democracy. My take: the Congress's decision to move an impeachment motion against the sitting Chief Justice of India is a classic example of act first, think later. That it comes only a day after the adverse Judge Loya verdict only adds to the suspicion that the Congress is keen to settle political scores. Already the rift within the opposition and even within the Congress, with the former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh not signing up, have come out in the open. An impeachment motion must be proceeded with on the basis of solid evidence against a judge, not on innuendo or personal animus. Yes, there have been rumors that have swirled around the CJI's conduct and character, heightened by the public press conference called by 4 senior judges in January to virtually accuse the chief of bench fixing. But surely that is not enough reason for an impeachment. A dangerous precedent is being set that could trigger off a troubling conflict between the legislature and the judiciary. Our democracy is now facing a deeper institutional crisis when the leading opposition party doesn't trust the Chief Justice and the ruling party is accused of pushing for pliant judges. Then there is a question mark over the independence of the judiciary. Judges must not be intimidated or co-opted. Sadly, they are being trapped today in an increasingly vicious political tug-of-war. And the fear is, in an election year, matters may only get worse.